Welcome to This Week Those Books, your rundown on books new and old that resonate with the week's big news story. I'm Michael Macy. This week's big story is that America's incoming Trump administration has triggered a conversation about red meat issues, literally and metaphorically, which revolve around the international political order, culture, and gender. Hours after Donald Trump's election win, France's president recommended Europe junk its herbivore preferences or the carnivores will win. Meat consumption looks set to become a political test in Britain, with the Labour Prime Minister saying climate goals can be achieved without a drive to vegetarianism, and the main opposition Conservative Party warning that forcing people to eat less meat could spark public unrest. In India, Hindu nationalism is premised on strength through vegetarianism. But ascendant in the U.S. is the manly man worldview of influential members of Trump's inner circle, which includes podcast bros, crypto bros, tech bros, and the bro of bros, Elon Musk. The backstory is that Trump's oldest son, Don Jr., as well as private sector entrepreneurs Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, all champion so-called red meat policy positions and language. Musk funds a political action committee that leaned into sexist attacks during the election campaign. He has amplified a social media post that suggested only high-status males should run the government. And he told a podcast popular with young men that animals will not make any difference to global warming. Eat as much meat as you want. Ramaswamy, a strict vegetarian, espouses a tough worldview. He has argued the government is wrong to help single mothers as it pays single women more not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house. Don Jr.'s 3-year-old hunting and outdoors-focused lifestyle media brand, Field Ethos, is targeted at the unapologetic man aged between 25 and 55. This week's first book is The Shameless Carnivore, A Manifesto for Meat Lovers by Scott Gold. This call to arms against wokeism is in tune with the current moment. Scott Gold argues that its consumption is a very natural, instinctual, beneficial, even spiritual human act. He says meat eating may be a civilizing influence. The second book is The Sexual Politics of Meat by Carol J. Adams. When first published, this book was in line for an award for the most ludicrous title. Decades later, it could be seen as a harbinger of a movement. Carol J. Adams makes the case for unpicking traditional notions that equate meat consumption with virility, dominance, and power. Meat is part of the cultural mythology of maleness, she writes, citing numerous cultural references. And our third book this week is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. Nobel Literature Laureate Han Kang's novel puts the concept of vegetarianism through its paces. Is it madness, an obsession, an extreme attack on tradition, or is it a justified resistance against patriarchy? The novel starts with Chong, exasperated husband of Yong Hai. His wife, he says, was completely unremarkable in every way, until she suddenly decided to throw out all the meat and vegan products from the fridge and freezer. This novel links the two themes of the week's other books. I hope you find This Week Those Books useful, thoughtful, and a conversation starter. It's a small operation here at This Week Those Books, and support from readers like you helps keep this news literacy project going. We now have more than 10,000 subscribers in 117 countries. Please consider supporting this news effort by investing in a paid membership so that we can keep it freely accessible. If for whatever reason it's not possible for you to upgrade to paid, email thisweekthodesbooks at substack.com and we'll give you full access, no questions asked.